So next up in the people that we're talking about is the study in Hawthorne, Illinois by a guy by the name of Elton Mayo. And let's see if I can get the shared screen to work. So I'm going the wrong way. Okay, back to the Hawthorne effect. So this guy by the name of Elton Mayo did these studies in Hawthorne, Illinois, and he looked at, one of the things he looked at was how much light was in the room. He was trying to figure out, if I change the environment of this room, can I make the worker work harder? And so he tried increasing the light. He tried, and when he increased the light, he found out that the workers worked harder. He tried making it smell nice. He put some flowers in the room. And he discovered that if it smelled nice, the workers would work harder. But in science, whenever you test one hypothesis, you then have to test the opposite. And so in the room, he put workers in a room, and then he decreased the light, expecting that output would go down. But instead, output went up. And this is what has come to be known as the Hawthorne effect, that if workers believe that that their managers care about them, are looking after them, they will work harder. The Hawthorne effect. Workers' attitudes towards their managers will affect their level of performance. So this is definitely had an impact on the world, that management now knows that how people feel towards their manager will affect output. The difference between an informal organization, the term informal organization simply means the normal interactions you have with people within a company. So within UAU, there are certain professors that like to talk to me, and there are certain ones that don't like to talk to me. That's in every organization. You're going to have people that get along well together and other people who do not. That's what the informal organization is. The organizational behavior, so organizational behavior is absolutely fascinating. It is the study of how different organizations work differently. So why do some organizations, do people feel really connected and work hard together, and in other organizations, people just simply don't care? And so the study of organizational behavior looks at how organizations act. And you can take a whole class on that, and maybe I get to teach it sometime. It's a fun class. Some other things you need to know. Management science theory, just quite simply, the management science theory and quantitative management are simply using different mathematical and quantitative techniques to come up with what is the right way to do something. Whenever you see the term quantitative, you should just think math, numbers. And so management science theory is all about using some type of mathematical formulas to figure out the right way to do things. The term operations management. Operations management in today's world is called supply chain management. And it is quite literally how we go from inputs, how we go from raw materials to manufacturing to an output. So it's trying to draw the steps, everything from plastic and metal being combined together to build your computer that's in front of you, and how that computer is delivered to you. Do you buy it at a store? Is it shipped to you by Amazon or Noon or some other company? So supply chain management tries to look at all the steps in development. Total quality management. Total quality management is, as I discussed in class, the idea, there are many principles, but I only emphasize 3 in class. The first is that you should give the customer what the customer wants. The customer is king or queen. That the company should always look for improvement and always use quality inputs. So these are 3 elements of total quality management. I also said that the ideas of total quality management really didn't exist 100 years ago. I gave the example that when Henry Ford was asked if a customer could have a blue car, he said, oh, it's supposed to be you, not ooh. He said, you can have any color car you want so long as it is black. This is not total quality management. This is Henry Ford being a not so nice guy. The systems approach. The systems approach says you can look at any organization as being a system. And so that system has inputs that go through a conversion and become an output. Systems approach. The example I used in class is you as a student. You as a student are the input. The conversion is the classes that you take, and the output is a student with knowledge and skills that they didn't have before they came to the university. As I said in class, if you leave the university exactly the same as you were when you came in, then we screwed up. The whole point of going to college is to change the way you change the skills and knowledge that you have so that you are a better, different person when you leave. So input, conversion, output. And this is also where I introduced the concept of feedback. Feedback tells us, we look at that graduate, we look at our students who graduate, and we ask, do they have the skills that we want them to have? And if they don't, what do we need to do to change to get our graduates to have those skills? And I mentioned that's how we developed the ESP3 course and some other changes that we've made in the College of Business. So input, conversion, output. Synergy. Synergy, very important term. Going to be on a test that I write. Synergy is the concept that 1 + 1 = 3. Synergy is the idea that when you combine together, you are stronger together than you would be separate. As I said in class, this is definitely the attitude, the belief system that the father of the UAE had, Sheikh Zayed, in creating the UAE. He definitely believed that the Emirates being combined together would be stronger than having 7 independent countries. Anytime one company buys another company, they will say, there will be synergies. Sometimes there are, sometimes there aren't. Regardless, it is a very important concept. Together we are stronger than we would be separate. Contingency. Anytime you see contingency, think backup. Coming up with more than one way to do things. So for the family doing the picnic in Abu Dhabi, coming up with a backup plan. What if it rains that day? What if there's a sandstorm? What are our backup plans if plan A does not go right? So contingency is always thinking of and working for backups, other ways of doing things. And that brings me to the last slide of the book, a mechanistic versus organic structure. In a mechanistic company, the company has centralized authority. Centralized authority means all decisions are made in one place. Employees are closely supervised. There are lots of tasks and rules. And usually the organization has many layers. So from the bottom person to the top person, there are many layers. When in class, I gave an example of Microsoft was very mechanistic and they're trying to become more organic. So when they brought on Satya Nadella, his goal was to go from 9 levels of management down to 6 or maybe even 5. Organic structure is where decision-making is decentralized. Decisions are made in many places, and the workers are encouraged to come up with new ideas, encouraged to, an organic structure is more likely to be able to change if there's change in the world. Anyhow, that's enough for a summary. I hope this 2-part summary of chapter 2 is helpful. I'll find out in your comments whether you appreciate having the slides or you appreciated seeing my notes. I'm not sure which one is better for you. I'm sure I'll find out in class. So now let me figure out how to pull back the class, and I think that's a good place to end. If I can figure out how to shut off the recording. Okay, there we are. Talk to you later. Bye.